The morning sun glistened across the glass windows of Grayson's Market, casting warm light over the busy street outside. Shoppers moved with bags in hand, the faint sound of car horns echoed in the distance, and inside, workers quietly carried out their routines. It seemed like just another ordinary day, but what was about to unfold would be anything but ordinary. The company's CEO, a man who had built his fortune from nothing but determination and vision, decided to step into one of his own stores. Not as the sharp-suited executive his employees were used to seeing, but undercover, dressed down in jeans, a plain shirt, and a cap. Lately, he had been restless. Reports and boardroom meetings told him his business was thriving, but in his heart he wondered, were his employees truly cared for? Or was there hidden pain behind the polished numbers? He wasn't prepared for what he found almost immediately, a young mother behind the counter, discreetly wiping away tears as she tried to look busy. Before we go deeper, if you believe in kindness, second chances, and stories that reveal the best in humanity, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to Kindness Corner so we can keep bringing you these powerful, life-changing stories. The CEO froze when he noticed her. She wore her uniform, slightly wrinkled, her hair tied back, rubber gloves still clinging to her hands. Her eyes were swollen, red from holding back tears that refused to stay hidden. She tried to mask her pain behind the checkout counter, but her sorrow was impossible to ignore. He wandered the aisles, pretending to shop, but his thoughts spun. Why was she crying? What could weigh on her so heavily in the middle of her shift? The store felt unusually still. Other employees kept their distance, not from lack of care, but from helplessness. Pain so visible often makes people look away. As he observed, memories of his own mother came rushing back. She, too, had been a single mom working 2 jobs. Her hands raw and blistered, yet still finding the strength to tuck him into bed at night. The realization that one of his employees might be carrying that same burden hit him hard. What was the point of success, he thought, if those who kept his company running were silently suffering? Her name was Emily. For nearly a year, she had been the first to arrive and the last to leave. Customers knew her as warm and polite, but behind the walls of her small apartment, her world was collapsing. Her husband had walked out when their baby was just 6 months old, leaving her alone to battle overdue rent, unpaid bills, and the gnawing fear of how to feed her child. That very morning, her landlord had threatened eviction if she didn't pay up in 3 days. And with her babysitter raising rates, Emily was forced to choose between childcare and rent, while often skipping her own meals. So her son could eat. She tried to hide her despair, but the tears betrayed her. The CEO couldn't shake the image. He watched as she forced a smile for customers, bagging groceries, apologizing when she dropped an item. One man muttered something unkind before leaving, but Emily whispered thank you anyway, her dignity intact even when the world wasn't gentle with her. Over the hours he lingered, listening quietly. Other employees whispered about how Emily never complained, how she skipped breaks to help others, how she even shared her lunch with a teenager who often forgot to bring food. They admired her, but none of them knew the depth of her struggle. The hunger, the sleepless nights, the loneliness. The CEO's heart ached. Numbers and profit margins suddenly felt meaningless. Standing there, he was reminded of something he had forgotten. His company wasn't built on reports and balance sheets. It was built on people, mothers, fathers, dreamers, fighters. And sometimes all it took was one person caring to change everything. When the afternoon sun shifted, he finally approached her. Gently, he asked if she was all right. Emily, startled, quickly wiped her tears and forced a shaky smile. "I'm fine," she whispered, but her trembling voice told the real story. The CEO recognized that phrase. It was the kind of "I'm fine" that hit a storm. He didn't press her, but he made a silent vow. He would not let her break. In the days that followed, He returned again and again, sometimes as a shopper, sometimes just to observe. He began to notice not just Emily's pain, but the silent battles of many employees. People living paycheck to paycheck. Workers overlooked by management. Good, hard-working people stretched to their breaking point. But Emily stood out, a quiet strength beneath the exhaustion. A refusal to let hardship steal her humanity. Then came the moment that changed everything. The CEO revealed who he truly was. Gasps filled the room as the staff realized the man they had been serving was in fact their boss. But instead of scolding or boasting, he gathered the team and shared Emily's story, not to shame her, but to inspire compassion. He reminded them that kindness was not just something expected from customers, but something they owed one another. Turning to Emily, he told her she was no longer alone. By the end of the day, Emily's world had shifted. She received financial assistance, a well-deserved promotion, and better hours that allowed her to spend time with her child without fearing eviction or hunger. More importantly, the CEO launched new policies to support single parents and struggling employees company-wide. That day, leadership wasn't measured in profit, it was measured in humanity. Emily's tears became the seed of change, not only for her, but for countless others. And the CEO left the store with a quiet smile, knowing his greatest achievement wasn't the empire he had built, but the lives he could lift. If this story touched you, please like this video, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to Kindness Corner. And before we end, tell us in the comments, if you were the CEO, what would you have done? Your voice matters.